All right, Jonas, bring us home with the ugly. What was ugly this week?
It's what's going on in Nashville with the Tennessee Titans. Brian Callahan, the head coach, who already going into the season was up against it. He's got a rookie he's going to be starting. He's got a front office shift where you're moving pieces around, guys that were in there when he was hired, and now there's guys that were not there when he was hired that are now taking over the reins. Yesterday, he announced he's going to be giving up play calling duties. And he's going to, he wanted to let everybody know, listen, I'm not concerned about my play calling. That wasn't an issue for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and hand over the reins and become a better head coach this way by giving I can't imagine any play calling head coach looks at that as a positive. It feels like the writing is on the wall. They're not a good football team. It doesn't look like they're going to be good anytime soon. And instead, we're going to be looking at another case of a quarterback who was drafted in the first round, who 1 year in is probably going to be looking at a different head coach based on how things are going there. So that's my ugly for the week, the Brian Callahan, Tennessee Titans situation there in the AFC South. So there's that. What do you think about that?
Just trying to make sure that his breath on this mic cover matches mine.
What do you mean?
I must have left it on there.
No.
No, man.
That's like a Super 8 bed, huh?
What you say?
The smell, like
It's
a
kinda
Super 8
Super
bed.
8
Yeah,
bed.
you got to make sure
That
that the smell matches your smell. You know what I mean? I must have left my cover on here because it was in a communal place.
Does
Smell like
Does
Louisiana
Jonas still
hot
bring
sauce.
his own?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I got
I'll
mine.
tell you what I
Did you
feel
bring that
about.
pink one?
Oh
No, that's gone.
Oh no.
jeez.
Well, I'll tell you what you got to bring with you, and I'm bringing it to my Stick City tailgate. It's the original Louisiana hot sauce. It's the perfect balance of peppers, vinegar, and salt. Wings, nachos, burgers. You can hit anything with those at the tailgate. All right, food. It's bold. Buy you some Louisiana hot.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend Shields, Guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at depend.com.
Lowe's knows that free makes everything better. That's why our rewards members get free standard shipping on the things they need and want, starting at Silver Key status every day. Savings for rewards members add up fast, so why wait? Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
There's reports of a stalled vehicle blocking off all 3 main lanes on I-35 northbound near Silver Peak Drive. The right shoulder is able to squeeze by, albeit very slowly. You're seeing delays from Highway 80, causing about a 30-minute add to your morning commute. There's also a crash on Sprinkle Road near Ferguson Lane, causing delays in the area. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by ParkWiz.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
Raising a family requires lots, and I mean lots, of energy. Quaker's protein products help you to keep things running smoothly. It's the protein you want when wrestling your toddler into their pajamas. There you go, buddy. To coach your 6th graders' soccer team. And to carry all the groceries in one trip. Whether you want instant oatmeal, bars, or granola, Quaker has something for everyone in the family. Try Quaker protein products today. Quaker, bring out the good.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye! Make way for the badding of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
So, Matt, you write a newsletter. It's called Money Stuff.
People frequently say to me, I enjoy your newsletter, but I'd like to hear you say it into my ear. And I say, that would take a long time. But what we could do instead is I could chat about my newsletter with my good friend Katie.
When it comes to money stuff, you write about a range of topics. What range of topics might we expect in the podcast version?
A smaller range.
Right. We only have 30 minutes.
And in that time, we will talk about weird stories from the world of finance that somehow illuminate or say something interesting about how finance works. Like money stuff.
All the money stuff.
All the stuff.
Yeah. We will be talking about ETFs, the world of investing. That's what I like to talk about. We'll probably talk about horses and dressage a fair amount.
Horses
I would
and
say.
dressage will come up more here than they do in the Money Stuff newsletter. And, we'll talk to people. Maybe we'll have some guests on and we'll answer some reader questions if you have any. I'm Matt Levine, the Money Stuff columnist at Bloomberg Opinion.
And I'm Katie Greifeld. I'm a reporter and an anchor with Bloomberg News.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland, El Paso,
San Antonio, and Silsbee, Texas.
Or wherever you may be listening. This is a Hump Day Game Plan edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. College football got turned upside down yesterday. We'll hear more from Coach Sark on his weekly press conference. Texas men's basketball get to start practice on Thursday. We've got big college football games this weekend. The New York Giants said start spreading the news as they've made a move. And we'll talk all about that and more. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hart. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And, of course, we've got our guy Marcus behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Also, if you want to voice your opinion, all you got to do is use that talkback feature on the new and improved and always free iHeartRadio app. We'll receive your message instantly. If it's good enough, you might even hear it on air. Well, let's get right into it. The news came out yesterday in the Big 12. I'm a man. I'm 58. Now you're unemployed. Mike Gundy is now being relieved of his duties at Oklahoma State. And let me just tell you this.
Can you leave your key card right there, please?
Let me just tell you this. As much as we have his brother, Cale Gundy, on the show often when we get ready to talk Oklahoma, which we will talk about them in just a moment. But if you start to look at what has been going on at Oklahoma State, this has all happened after T. Boone Pickens had passed away and things kind of changed at Oklahoma State. Yes, they continued to build. They're continuing to do different things with this program. But Gundy was one of those guys that was under the Dabo Swinney approach of college football in today's era. You look at who it was before that. They were an exciting brand of football. They were winning the Big 12 conference. He was able to go and get the lesser type of player and coach them up. But when everybody around you is making moves and you're not, you're going to get left behind. And I keep going back to what Coach Sark always says. You're either going to adapt or you're going to die. And you have to adapt to the things that are going on around you in this sport. The dynamics of college football is on a whole nother level. And if you continue to stay in that dinosaur era, you're going to get passed by. And that is what I've seen with Mike Gundy over the last couple years. And here's the other thing. I told you, you don't lose to Tulsa. I don't care if you have the best players or you have the worst players. As Oklahoma State goes, you cannot be a part of that. And he ended up losing to Tulsa the other night. And I said it. I said I'd be shocked if he finished the season.
What would be the Texas equivalent if you lose to that team?
Well,
it was Kansas back in the days.
Well, this is different now. This is a different football team. Yes, you're going to slip up, but the equivalent of it would be UTSA, Texas State, something like that, because you have the best players.
Wow. Yeah.
Like you're Oklahoma State. Like
Hardge, I brought up a point to you. Like T-Boone Pickens set them up. He gave them that, $200 million endowment for the sports programs. Why are they not spending that money on football?
I have no idea. Maybe it's Gundy. Maybe it's the way. Maybe it was Gundy's way of saying maybe it's not just T-Boone Pickens. Y'all, the community needs to start spending money. Everybody needs to start spending money. You start looking at what's going on at Alabama when people were talking about it. And George, you look at all the different schools that are talking about competing at the highest level where the haves and the have-nots. I think that is why Nick Saban left Alabama, because the Alabama folks don't have Texas money. Alabama folks don't have Texas A&M money. There's money that is out there, but it's not to the level of which that is why people look at Alabama now and they're like, okay, now you're not the most dominant program. That's why Georgia can continue to be big at what they're doing and being dominant, because financially,
$20 million is a drop in the bucket to a university. I mean, that's really nothing. It's $5. But a lot of these
$5 for a lot of universities.
But I'm saying that's why the super conference thing came to be. There's probably 25 teams in America that can sustain even more than 20 mil a season. There's 25, maybe 30. Like put them in a super conference and then have the next 30. But you cannot expect these coaches, if you live the mentality of, I don't want to spend money, I want to do it the old way. I don't like paying the players. I'm an amateur coach. Oh, I make $9 million, but I don't give a damn what they make. Let them all be in a conference together.
Yeah.
Let Dabo put Dabo in that conference too. Let all those coaches that have that philosophy. And then there's some coaches that are coaching low level, third and fourth tier football that are brilliant.
Yep.
They don't have the opportunity to coach the top 5, the top 25 teams. If you allow those guys to say, hey man, I'm a general manager. I can balance a budget. I can do this. I want to be in that conference, in that super conference. See what happens. But you have to find a way to let it balance out. You have to. Otherwise, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get elite coaches that are failing because they won't conform to the system. Coach Saban or Coach Sark said about the dinosaurs, what happens? You become extinct.
Yep.
And that's what they're on the way to.
Well, you start to look at what his record was as the Oklahoma State Cowboy head coach. He was unbelievable there, getting this team to 8 10-win seasons. He was coaching for 20 seasons there. But here's the deal. He's lost 11 of their past 12 games dating back to the start of last season. Wow. He's lost 11 consecutive games to FBS opponents, the longest such streak among any Power 4 program nationally. He looked like he was disconnected from his players. He looked like he didn't really want to be there. And now they relieved him of his duties, and he's got a great record over the time that he's been there. He's won 70-90, but he's been done for quite some time. It has been a bad turn of events for a guy that led his team to a Big 12 campaign, Big 12 title campaign, and he also finished third in the top 25 with a Fiesta Bowl win over Stanford. This has been an interesting move for Oklahoma, but as I said before, I'm sure that this has led up to so many different things, but losing to Tulsa and all those people, as my man Chip Brown used to say, when you're playing golf with your buddies and you are Oklahoma State and you're playing with Tulsa people, you can't get on that tee box first. Tulsa people are letting you know, no. You tee off last because we're the ones that's got the box now. So it's interesting when you start to look at how this has all gone down, and a change needed to be made, and they finally did it.
Where do you think he lands? Do you think he lands as a top-tier coach again, or you think that he takes a level down and tries to coach, like we said, like one of the teams that where he can just go and be a football coach?
If I'm Gundy, I don't have to coach anywhere else.
Well, that's true.
I'm 58 years old. I've lived my life. I've been doing this grind for so long. I'll probably spend some time with my kids and be able to just chill out, not be in the public eye, not having to do this anymore. I mean, it seems like he's kind of banged out a little bit more to where he doesn't want to be there. I mean, you won an 11. Like, you lost 11 consecutive games as a head coach. That has got to be the most frustrating thing that you could be, especially after all the wins that you've had.
Yeah, that had to be tough.
Yeah, and they moved Doug Meacham as the interim head coach, so he'll be taking over the program. He's the offensive coordinator. And one more thing on that, their offense in the Big 12, they rank last, averaging 14 points a game. They rank last in the Big 12 on yards per play. They rank last in fewer than 4 touchdowns. They rank last in red zone drives with 8. So they're not very good.
So they're last.
They're not very good right now. As I said, you've lost that many games, and it's been a bad look for them. So we'll see what ends up happening with Mike Gundy, but the season's over. I mean, the time at Oklahoma State where he played quarterback, he is no longer part of that staff. So a change is a brewing in.
You can cut that mullet now.
Yeah, it's just he's still owed $15 million though, so he's gonna get his money.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so I'll peace out.
Keep your mullet, man.
We're just getting started here on a Hump Day game plan edition of the Morning Kickoff. When we come back, we'll hear more from Coach Sark, some of the things that he has going on during the bye week, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Text Texas, followed by your message to 81530 to chat along with your favorite sports radio AM 1300, The Zone hosts. That's Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply.
The biggest headliners in live music shared this stage.
At our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Jelly roll! Hi, this is Ed Sheeran.
Hi there, this is Brian Adams.
Make some noise for Tate McRae.
Hey, I'm Sammy Hagar.
Mariah Carey! Hey, this is Doodles from The Offspring.
We have Maroon 5. Good evening.
Hey, this is John Fogerty.
It's your girl, Glorilla.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Get ready to relive the once-in-a-lifetime moments starting October 2nd, only on Hulu.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
An update in Hayes County, I-35 northbound is now shut down due to a crash between Silver Peak Drive and Yarrington Road, causing over half an hour of backup and delays start from Highway 80. There's also a crash on I-35 northbound downtown at 11th Street, blocking off the left lane, and an earlier stall has cleared on 183 northbound at I-35. I'm Jason Foster with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by ParkWiz.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
This Longhorn Minute brought to you by Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Saturday night at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, the Texas Longhorns delivered a statement win with a 55-0 shutout over Sam Houston State to close out this non-conference play. Quarterback Arch Manning was sharp, going 18 of 21 for 309 yards with 3 passing touchdowns, but it was the 2 rushing TDs in the first half that got everybody excited. Wide receiver Ryan Wingo caught 6 passes for 93 yards and 2 scores, including a 53-yard bomb. DeAndre Moore was back in action and added 5 catches for 79 yards. Texas compiled 607 total yards while holding Sam Houston to just 113 yards and no points. Defensively, the Longhorns also had 5 sacks, so they dominated on both sides of the ball. Now they get ready for SEC play on October the 4th against Florida. This Longhorn Minute brought to you by Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
So I always dreamed of having a man cave, but the wife doesn't like it. What if I called it a woman cave?
Okay, so let's not do that, but add some relaxing lighting and a comfy IKEA Hofburg ottoman, and now it's a cozy retreat.
Nice, a cozy retreat. Man cozy retreat.
Sir, okay. Find your big dreams, small dreams, and cozy retreat dreams in-store or online at ikea.us. Dream the possibilities.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you, people who understand the value of experienced, highly skilled professionals. That's why you'll have access to a team of specialists to help you invest for the life you want. Why? You've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a team built around you. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hey there, local business owner. Ready to make some more money? Whether you own an auto shop or a dinner spot, Valpak Direct Marketing can help you do just that. All bells and whistles are included. So you advertise when and where it counts to reach new customers that spend more. Measurable results, proven reach, zero guesswork. That's Valpak. Visit valpak.com/advertise to see if you qualify for a free mailing. That's VALPAK.com/advertise. Let's grow.
iHeart presents Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour, taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th.
Straight out of Compton, it's a crazy brother named Ice Cube.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Shop simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. So Truck City Ford in Buda has made it simple. Go online. Pick yours at truckcityford.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leif Johnson's Truck City Ford in Buda has made buying a new Ford simple.
We're live at Specs, where elite snack strategies are unfolding. This shopper just dove headfirst into the cheese section, barreling through the brie like he's got something to prove. Now he's eyeing that top shelf tequila. Does he have it? He does! Unbelievable! Specs selection, flawless. Specs savings, unstoppable. He's loading the cart like a man possessed. And it all started at Specs. Cheers to savings.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Coming up in the next segment, we'll have Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman. There's a lot of news that came out yesterday as well. John Mateer, quarterback for Oklahoma, seems to be out with a hand surgery. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But you can't worry about what's going on with other people. You got to make sure that you handle your business. And that's what Texas is planning to do. On Monday, we got a chance to sit down with Coach Sark, catch up with him, see everything that's going on. And one of the biggest things that happens during the bye week is an opportunity for these college coaches to go out and either go see a recruit, somebody that they are recruiting, or guys that are already committed to the university. But the balance of it all, while you're trying to practice, while you're still trying to see people, it gets a little bit tough. So Coach Sark talked about the bye week recruiting plan to us on Monday.
It's always hard in season because you only have so many days that you get to be on the road. And not only do you only have so many days, we like to send guys out periodically on Thursday nights to go see guys play in person, as well as maximizing those bye weeks. And definitely during the bye weeks, I like to get out. I like to recruit. I like to get around our guys, see our committed players, and so on and so forth. So we'll evaluate that closely this week. The one guy that we historically like to get on the road this time of year is Chris Gilbert. And Chris has obviously does a great job, and he's a really good evaluator. He's got good rapport with not only the players we're recruiting, but their families. And he's very relatable to the high school coaches. And so Chris is active on that front. And then some guys may be out one day and not the next day, because we're trying to preserve some days for later in the season. So I think we've got a good plan for this week. We'll be very active, knowing we have the 2 buys. We have one later in the year. And so, you kind of do it somewhat regionally of, okay, where are we putting the spotlight this week? And then where are we going to try to put it on the next week? So I think we've got a good plan. But Gilbert will be the main one. I think that's not an on the field coach that will.
Man, cut off. But yeah, having Chris Gilbert on the road is always good. Chris, obviously being a former high school coach, he knows a lot of people around here and across the state of Texas, and being able to network with those guys, catch up and check out some of those other players has been real important for them. So it's exciting time for a lot of those folks to be able to do so. But also what Coach Sark was talking about is being able to look at this SEC schedule, because having the bye week, it sets you up for so many different things. But this SEC schedule, this gauntlet that Texas is about to go on this year, is going to be tough. And this is how he prepares for that.
I think this is you start evaluating our schedule, and I'm as excited as anybody to watch a little football on Saturday. There's some great games. There's a great weekend of college football, and some high level games are going to get played not only in our conference but around the country. So that part's I think fun for us to take a step back to see that. As far as our schedule goes, our some of the teams in our conference have some really, really brutal schedules, and I look at Florida and just kind of the gauntlet they've already been part of. And, they're at LSU one week, and the next week they're at Miami, and they're playing really well defense. I mean, these guys are playing at a high level. I think they held LSU to 13 points on offense. The one touchdown they scored was a pick six, on the road, to hold those guys to 13. I mean, and they're holding Miami to 13 points until about 4 minutes to go, or 16 points. Well, no, I think it was 13 with about 4-6 minutes to go in that game. And so they're playing at a really high level defensively. And naturally Billy's a really good offensive coach, and they just haven't found their groove quite yet offensively. But going to the Swamp, there's people that would argue it's the toughest place to play in the country. We've got 2 coaches in our office that have coached there before and have said it's the loudest place they've been. And so you just know you're going into a hostile environment, and you're going up against a quality opponent, which we just started looking at them, and I don't have all the details on those guys, but I look down the road of what the rest of our schedule is starting to look like. Naturally, after Florida, We're going to play in the Red River rivalry against OU, who's as hot as any team in the country, and they're playing great defense, and the quarterback is playing at a high level. Got a chance to peek at them a little bit in the first half last week. And then you go to Kentucky at night and shoot, they had Ole Miss on the ropes in that game. And then you start talking about Mississippi State, who's already knocked off Arizona State at home, and they've got a big game this weekend against Tennessee. And then I believe we have a bye. No, then we get Vanderbilt, who shoot, all they do is they're back in the top 25, and they went into South Carolina and won. And then, you get a bye, and I think then we go to Georgia. And so they play Alabama this week, and they've already won at Tennessee. And then you get Arkansas, who they took Ole Miss to the wire, and then you get A&M, who's as hot as any other team in the country. And so it is what it is in our conference. I said that all along about the SEC. It's like, as physical as we know as it is, and we all know, it's like you turn on the tape of Florida, the first thing that stands out is that front. I mean, those guys are really, really good. It's the mental grind. You have to do it every single week. There is no gimmies. And I said this before, there's nobody in our league that says they looked at their schedule and say, oh yeah, that's a win. You better come ready to play, because everybody is well-equipped coaching wise. Everybody's well-equipped personnel wise. And there's some tough places to go play that you gotta be mentally prepared to play as well as physically prepared to play.
Yeah. And this is going to be a tough run when you look at what Texas has to do. You look at that schedule and you start with, you start with Florida. Then you have the Red River shootout. That's what I'm calling it. Mama call it shootout. I'm going to call it shootout. Then you have the matchup against Kentucky. You got Mississippi State, who is undefeated at this particular time. As he said, Vanderbilt is tough. Georgia, Arkansas, Texas A&M. This is not an easy trek for the Texas Longhorns.
No, you can't look ahead. You gotta live where your feet are, and I always love that term. But like, living where your feet are means that you really can't peak too much. The only reason that they were able to peak is because they played a late game and the game came before them.
Yeah, and they get a chance to really watch because it's a bye week. So looking ahead. Yeah, Sark has said he hadn't even looked at the film on what Florida is. I'm sure that he has by now, but you're paying attention to it because they're on the bye week, so nothing else is changing. The only difference is they're dealing with DJ Lagway, who's still walking around in a walking boot right now because he's dealing practicing. So there's that part of it. But you also have to look at what this Texas team is going to be up against moving forward. And one thing about Texas is Coach Sark said they feel good in some areas, but he also knows that there's some areas that they need to work in.
Yeah, no, I think one of the areas is, I just feel like our penalties are high for my liking. I think we can play cleaner football, and it's some very simple things that I think we can get fixed and definitely be better at. And I'd love to say it's this thing or that thing. I just think we're close. And again, I have to remind myself, you're going to have some of those errors with some younger players. The key is that your veteran players aren't making some of those mistakes. And so, we're not jumping off sides anymore on defense. I think we're settling in. We're playing a little bit more discipline of watching the ball and not jumping off sides. We had a couple flinches on offense last week. Connor Robertson, I can understand, he's getting his first start at center. He flinches the ball one time. He settled into the game. I didn't like was the false start later. I think early in the second half we had one. So there's areas where we are improving. But my job as a coach is to make sure that we drill all the way down on these things, and penalties are part of football. They're going to happen. And I just want to make sure that if and when we do get penalties, they're of the aggressive nature, and not some of the pre-snap self-inflicted wound penalties or some of the penalties where we've drilled on something that they can anticipate something that's coming, that our technique doesn't falter us, and where we reach and grab, or whether it's in the secondary or at the line of scrimmage or in punt return, because I do think some of those are avoidable as well.
That's the main thing, cutting down those penalties. As a penalized team, as much as Texas has been, that can be the difference in a ball game. That's an extension of a drive, and that is also a drive killer in so many instances. So Texas has to be able to get that cleaned up as we get ready for SEC play. Speaking of SEC play, let's talk to our guy, Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. We'll catch up with him and see the latest at the Austin American-Statesman right here on a Hump Day Game Plan edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
An update in Hayes County, I-35 northbound is now shut down due to a crash between Silver Peak Drive and Yarrington Road, causing over half an hour of backup and delays start from Highway 80. There's also a crash on I-35 northbound downtown at 11th Street, blocking off the left lane, and an earlier stall has cleared on 183 northbound at I-35. I'm Jason Foster with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical. In 20628.
Need an AC company you can count on? Call Abacus. From tune-ups to repairs and the latest indoor air quality solutions, Abacus can do it all. Now you can fix or replace your AC system with zero down financing. If you want the best, call Abacus. You can count on us.
Hardge here. Friday Night Lights in Texas are all about family pride and showing up strong. That's exactly what you'll find at Covert Chevy in Hutto. Right now, get $14,048 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST or $9,278 off of MSRP on a new all-electric 2025 Chevy Blazer EV-RS. Chevy Strength, Texas tradition, family first. That's Covert Chevy right off of 79 in Hutto, Texas. CovertChevyHutto.com. Together, let's drive.
And Doug.
Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Bourbon and Brews is back. They are honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Wednesday at the weekly party. Get to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Cheers.
Fall is the perfect time to transform your home or business with fresh new color. The team at CertaPro Painters of Greater Austin handles every detail worry-free from start to finish. CertaPro Painters is the painting service you can rely on here in Austin, whether painting inside or out. Go with the pros at CertaPro Painters of Austin. That's Certa with a C. Right now through October, get $250 off any project over $2,500. Call and schedule your free estimate today.
Need space that's designed to last? Mueller Inc. delivers pre-engineered steel buildings customized for your style. From garages and workshops to barns, warehouses, even airplane hangars. Our bolt-together buildings are designed to last decades with proper installation and maintenance. Designed for strength, engineered for Texas. Visit us today at any of our locations across the Austin area, including Marble Falls and Spicewood. Or go to MuellerInc.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The Texans released safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson after acquiring him from the Eagles back in March. Texas's SEC schedule for the next 4 seasons is out, including annual rivalry games against Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. Astros lose to the A's in Sacramento. Astros now a game back of the final wildcard spot in the American League. I'm Ronza Moss.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by the Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just a game. It's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Come be part of a legacy that never stops. Be there when history is made. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Get your tickets today at harlemglobetrotters.com.
Go get it. The new season of the NFL lives on iHeartRadio.
It's blocked! It's scooped up by Will McDonald! That's a jet touchdown!
Local stations bring you the action live.
Touchdown Tampa Bay!
Plus, fantasy advice and expert analysis with the official NFL Podcast Network.
A strip sack! A lot recovery!
Everything you love about football is on the iHeartRadio app.
Throws to the end zone. Caught, beat it, touchdown! Chargers!
Search NFL to dive in.
It's the Craig Way Show with Craig Way and Cameron Parker. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Next segment, we will talk MLB as the season comes down the stretch. But it's hump day, and that can only mean one thing. Our guy, Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman, joins us to talk all things Texas Longhorns. And Danny, we're at the first quarter is over for the University of Texas. They finished the first quarter 3-1, a tough matchup against Ohio State, some sluggish games against San Jose State and UTEP, but then they finally have all cylinders flowing in the right direction against Sam Houston State. So as you look at this first quarter, what are some of the things that stand out for you?
And this is a non-conference schedule where I don't really know how much exactly you can take out of it. Those are three teams that Texas obviously should beat. There's obviously a lot of alarms going off after that UTEP game, but Texas still won that game. No one really cares. They beat the snot out of Sam Houston. Ohio State, that's not a bad loss. It's the number one team in the country right now on the road. First game of the season where both teams, I think if you played that game got played today, both teams would look very different because they've had a month to figure out their stuff, both teams, both Texas and Ohio State. So, we knew this defense was going to be good, and they've proven that they've lived up to that reputation. It's the offense, and we're not going to know those answers for a little bit. Arch has had his ups, he's had his downs. The offensive line's trying to get stuff figured out. The running back room, CJ and Quintravian have both been injured pretty much this entire time, so who really knows what's going on with that. And the receivers have had some moments where they've shined and some moments where they have looked like there's work to be done. So the offense remains a work in progress. The defense is as advertised, and we're really not going to know anything probably until the Florida game, and maybe not even for a couple weeks after that.
So we're talking about that as well. So you look at the defense and get over to that side. Great points, by the way, on the offense and things that need to be discovered, I guess you would say. But one thing's for sure, that defensive line has proven to be a nullifier in the run game against all those teams, including Ohio State. But then you also get the chance to see some of those younger players in the secondary step up as well.
Yeah, this was how many people did lose to the NFL? Andrews with the Eagles now and Jade's with Denver. So, those are two big holes, and they need some younger guys to step up. I don't think anyone here doubted Michael Taft and maybe some of those older guys back there, but they need some of the younger guys to step up, and so far that's happened. It's the beauty of college football. I guess every year you're going to have some new guys step up, whether it's a Grayson Littleton or Jelani McDonald's not a young guy, but he's definitely made a step this season. And that's just kind of what college football is. New guys step up each year, and that's happening at Texas.
Danny, you think that because of the fact that Texas lost some really dominant players to the draft last year, and with the injuries that they've had and guys not playing this year, that Texas actually needs a little bit more grace and the fan base is kind of like unrelenting of it?
I'm going to try to not get myself in trouble, but sure. It is what it is. This is why these athletes choose to come to a school like the University of Texas, is because the expectations are sky high. Sometimes they're a little unrealistic. Arch Manning is not the first Texas quarterback to get booed. Vince was booed at some point. I'm sure some fans were probably not very happy with Colt after he lost his second second game to Ohio State. I think there was a bad loss to Kansas State sometime in his career too, where some people may have been displeased with him. I mean, we've been wandering through the wilderness for the past 15 years or however long it's been since Colt left with Texas quarterbacks, and Art had to watch as for 2 years as Quinn Ewers, who led this team to 2 college football playoff semifinals, got booed not booed, but people were openly wishing he'd get benched in favor of Arch. So I mean, Arch is not the first quarterback to get booed. This is not the first Texas team where some people have been wondering, you won the game by 55 points. We're going to spend the entire time post-game whining and complaining about everything from the team to, some things that we didn't like at the stadium that we got to go, hit up CDC about. So that's the University of Texas. That's what this is all about. That's what these players sign up for. Should they be given more grace? Sure. These are 18, 19-year-olds, and they're dealing with some adversity, but that's not how things work at Texas, and these players know that.
We're talking to Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. You can follow him at _Danny Davis for all the latest. And Danny, as we get closer and closer to SEC play, you look at the landscape of the SEC. I don't know how much you really pay attention to the entire SEC, but being as close as we are to it, there are some teams on Texas's schedule coming up this year that are playing some really good football. Now, some can say the same thing you said about Texas. Those are games that they should win. But when you look at the SEC play and you look at what Mississippi State has been able to do, it's pretty impressive to watch those guys go out there and get some dubs. Yeah, I mean, this is a schedule where, once again, it's kind of the beauty of college football, especially now in the transfer portal era. Preseason rankings and projections really don't mean anything. I mean, we could have gone through in the preseason and been like, that's an easy win for Texas, that's an easy loss. Don't bother traveling for this game. It's going to be a blowout. You have to be at this game. And now we look at it, a Florida game, which may have been the game of the year in the preseason. I don't think there's a lot of excitement about that game. But, Vanderbilt has looked really good this season so far. So it'll be fun to see the Commodores come to town and Cedric Alexander brings his boys back to Austin, what that looks like. Obviously, Georgia's good. Oklahoma, you asked many Texas fans before the season, what's the top 5 games as far as toughness? No one would have said Oklahoma because even though it's a rivalry game, people thought the Sooners were going to be down. We'll see what's happening with their quarterback situation in a couple weeks, but that's a team that's looked pretty good over these first few weeks of the season. Obviously, Georgia's Georgia. I'm kind of in wait and see mode with Mississippi State, but then you close the Arkansas, which isn't great, but that's still a rivalry game, and then A&M, and the Aggies have looked very good, and they're still kind of riding that wave from a couple weeks ago in South Bend. So yeah, I mean, this is not going to be a cakewalk. Anyone who thought Texas was going to walk through SEC play is mistaken. They may be getting a couple breaks with Florida and Oklahoma having some quarterback problems, but this is going to be a war over these next 2 months.
Danny, a lot of Texas fans are taking a deep breath thinking that, because material is out right now, that that Texas is just going to, Peter roll Oklahoma during that time. Do you think that that's a horrible way to think as a Longhorn fan? Because they're not going to just lay down. It's a rivalry game.
I mean, it's not a horrible, it's a dumb way to think. I mean, there have been some good Texas teams that have been beaten by bad Oklahoma teams, and good Oklahoma teams have been beaten by bad Texas teams. And this is a rivalry game. It's a neutral site. We all know the pomp and circumstance that goes on there. Granted, the last time Oklahoma kind of had some banged up quarterbacks was whatever that 49-0 game was, which was a complete disaster. But I assume that Oklahoma probably has a little bit of a better backup quarterback plan set up this time around. And I'm sure the Sooners are angry over how the last couple of years have gone and want to kind of prove themselves against Texas. But any Texas fan that just walks into the Cotton Bowl assuming that they're going to win regardless of who is the quarterback just doesn't really know much about the history of this rivalry. It's going to be a game. Sure, Texas should be favored. Texas should win, but that's what rivalry games are for. Oklahoma is not going to gift a win to Texas, especially since Oklahoma probably will be ranked higher than Texas at that point, and it probably has some postseason plans of their own, and they're just trying to survive until they can get their quarterback back.
And Michael Hawkins was the quarterback last year, and he was thrust into that position, but now he's got some experience. He's been part of this program. He understands what it looks like. So I don't think Texas fans should look at that game and be like, oh, yeah, that's what it's all about. No, it's a little bit more than that. And the same thing with Florida. Florida's defense fast on paper. I mean, on screen. So being able to watch them over the last couple of weeks, just because knowing what's coming up, I'm not sleeping on them either.
No, not at all.
It's a home game for them. They're in the swamp. It's going to be a crazy, crazy atmosphere, but we got some time for that. Missed you yesterday at the baseball conversation. Now that it's a bye week this week, are you going to be able to go over to the Dell Diamond and follow the baseball game as Texas will host Texas Tech?
Yeah, I know last week I came on here, I was pretty baffled that Mark was asking me baseball questions, but since it is a bye week, I'm going to check out a little action at the Dell this weekend. It's nice to see that Texas and Texas Tech get something going. You know, these are two teams that should be. I wish they play more in the regular season, but you know, it's nice that they're able to get together for a little fall ball, and we'll kind of see what that's all about up at the Dell this weekend.
Dave, since you were puzzled about that last week, I was puzzled this week because the last 2 weeks, neither one of us has said anything about Rory Harmon.
Yeah, I'm going to. There's a women's basketball availability in a couple hours, so I may steal Rory around the facilities while we're talking to Vic today. So I'll tell her you said what's up.
Please do, because I'm really a fan.
There he is, Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman. You can follow him at _Danny Davis. Thanks, Danny, as always, my man.
See y'all.
Appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to talk MLB baseball as it's starting to heat up. The Yankees clinch a playoff berth. How excited are you, Mark Henry? We'll be back on a hump day game plan edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
The voice of the Horns, Craig Way on 1300 The Zone, weekdays at 2.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Some more details on I-35 northbound. All lanes are closed down due to an overturned 18-wheeler crash at Silver Peak Drive. All traffic is forced off the highway at exit 208. Try taking Loop 110 or Post Road as good alternates. There's also a 30-minute backup being caused by a crash in the left lane on I-35 northbound at 11th. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by ParkWiz.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
You ever know a superstitious fan? You know, the one that's worn the same socks since week one. They only high five with their left hand, and they even refuse to sit on the couch during kickoffs. But the most important game day tradition, and that's cracking open an ice cold Bud Light. Because it's not tradition, it's just common sense. Bud Light, the official domestic beer of Texas football. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey there, local business owner. Ready to make some more money? Whether you own an auto shop or a dinner spot, Valpak Direct Marketing can help you do just that. All bells and whistles are included, so you advertise when and where it counts to reach new customers that spend more. Measurable results, proven reach, zero guesswork. That's Valpak. Visit valpak.com/advertise to see if you qualify for a free mailing. That's VALPAK.com/advertise. Let's grow.
iHeart presents
The police coming straight from the underground.
Ice Cube, bringing truth to power.
In my era, then a natural born killer.
You know how we do. Featuring 4 decades of attitude, a musical production like he's never done before. Taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th. Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour, 4 decades of attitude.
Before hip-hop, homies got shot.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Lowe's knows that free makes everything better. That's why our rewards members get free standard shipping on the things they need and want, starting at Silver Key status every day. Savings for rewards members add up fast, so why wait? Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, You save. Not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. A trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting saber-tooth zip ride or pan for gemstones. Take the wild cave tour or the hidden passages tour. And there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Plenty of sunshine in the northeast with highs in the low 70s. Cooler breezes over northern New England. Warm and sticky in the mid-Atlantic and southeast states with highs near 90. Scattered thunderstorms are expected from the Carolinas into Georgia and Florida. Gulf Coast storms could bring locally heavy rainfall. In the deep south, it's a muggy mix of sun and clouds with highs in the upper 80s. Expect scattered thunderstorms heaviest near the Gulf states of Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Mostly sunny throughout the Midwest with highs in the 70s to the low 80s. The upper Great Lakes could see a few clouds with a weak front sliding through. The southern plains are still running hot with highs in the mid to upper 90s across Texas and Oklahoma. The northern plains stay seasonable with temperatures in the low 80s. The heat continues in the southwest with highs crossing 100 degrees in Phoenix and Las Vegas. California's coastal areas stay mild with highs in the low 70s. The inland valleys will heat up into the 90s. And comfortable in the Pacific Northwest with sunshine and temperatures in the 70s inland, 60s along the coast. That's your national forecast. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Wake up with Hardge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Great stuff by Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman. You can follow him at _Davis. It's true. Start to look at the football team and the expectations of what's coming up next. Kind of get excited so much. Tonight, you also get a chance to watch Texas volleyball. Texas will be taking on Vanderbilt. You can watch it on SEC Network Plus. The Texas Texas volleyball team is the #2 ranked team in the nation. They've got 7 ranked victories this year. How amazing is that? And Spears is one hell of a volleyball player. She keeps getting award after award after award. So kudos to them. But I also wanted to talk about Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is on a hot streak right now. What do I mean by that? These teams know that the end is near, and they are battling to make sure that they get themselves in position to play for October. Toronto and the Yankees both clinch playoff spots, but they are battling to the wire to see who is going to be in first place in the AL East. The Guardians and the Tigers are tied for first place in the AL Centrals, and the Tigers might have the biggest collapse in Major League Baseball history. They had the biggest lead. At one point, they had a 15-game lead, and now they are tied for first place with the Cleveland Guardians.
What happened? Like, how do you have a collapse at that level?
Their ace has been struggling. Skubal has been struggling, and he hasn't been that guy that has been the stopper. You want to have a guy that you can give the ball to, like a Shohei.
And you know he's going to
Ohtani.
shut it down.
Yes, that you know is going to go out there and be like, hold up, let's pump the brakes. And with him struggling and people laying off pitches, it changes the approach as well. So those guys have got to battle down to the wire, but both of those teams will. You
don't think it has nothing to do with the manager, like maybe them taking the gas off? And...
No, AJ Hinch is not that guy. AJ is he's a grinder, so there's no taking it off. The Mariners clinched a spot last night, and they've all but wrapped up the AL West. The Astros should be able to get into the playoffs. But again, all these battles that are going on are making it a little bit tough for them. I'll give you the exact standings in just a moment. In the National League, the Phillies have won their division and a lock to look like they are about to win the whole thing. They're going to definitely give it a run. Milwaukee has the best record in baseball. They win the Central, but the Cubbies are back in it as well. They get a chance to be in the playoffs. Also, you look at the Dodgers and the Padres, they are both trying to get to the the NL West pennant, but they are battling to the very end. Both get some walk-off wins. The Mets, the Reds, and the Diamondbacks are battling for the final spot in the NL. The Diamondbacks get a big victory yesterday. The Mets continue to pound, and the Reds, they keep going up and down. They have an opportunity, but they just can't finish it when you start to look at who they are at this particular time.
They have schizophrenia. Like the last time I was in Cincinnati, they were on a streak. They won 3 in a row.
Yep.
Including beating the Yankees like 9-2. I mean, they was rolling. The next 3 games, or they couldn't get a hit.
Yep.
I mean, when I say couldn't get a hit, they were like, they didn't score for 3 games in a row.
Their second baseman.
Like, how do you not score and you're a Major League Baseball team?
Their second baseman, Matt McClain, who was a first-round pick out of UCLA. He's starting second baseman. He has the 4th lowest batting average with runners in scoring position. And he had 2 chances last night to win the ball game, and he hit into a force. He had a ground ball to shortstop, and then he hit into a double play to end the ball game. They might need to pinch hit him when it comes up. It can't be no worse. It can't be no worse. So you got to try to figure out what you're going to do there. So as I said, this playoff run that these guys are on is making it a real tough look for all of these teams. So we'll see what ends up happening over the weekend.
You know that I'm a Yankee fan.
Yes.
But you know what my favorite park is? The team that's number 1. Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Stadium is like going to a nightclub, and they have the best food. And you know that goes real far with me.
I'm like, if we talk about food, shocker.
It's shocker.
We talk about food, shocker.
Hey, lobster rolls, everything. You name it, they got it.
Yep.
Beautiful place.
The Mets, the Reds, and the Diamondbacks are all separated by 1 game. The Mets right now have the position of the final team in the NL, but the Cincinnati Reds is 1 game behind the Mets, and the Diamondbacks are tied 1 game behind the Mets as well. So we're going to have—
How many more games left?
4.
Ooh,
Sunday's the final day of the Major League Baseball season.
Wow.
So they've got a lot of work to do, and it's going to come down to that. So buckle up, folks. Buckle up, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as the season comes to an end. We'll figure out who is going to be our MVP on both leagues. And I think that Shohei Ohtani, who went 7 or 6 innings last night, pretty much wrapped up the NL MVP. But coming up next, we're going to continue the conversations. Hour number 2, Texas football schedule was released for the next 4 seasons. We've got college big games this weekend. And, of course, we got the world's strongest take, and the Giants make the move. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Hey, it's JB and Sandy. You know, we like to tell you guys about people and places that we do business with because we know they're going to treat you well. And we can certainly say that about our friends Scott and Stacy Feller at Koala Cooling. If you don't have a good relationship with an AC company, make this relationship. Get in touch with our friends at Koala Cooling at koalacooling.com or call them at 512-759-8800.
I know a lot of you are new to Texas, so take it from some longtime Texans and some native Texans on this show. You need a maintenance plan, a regular scheduled service, and you can do that with Koala Cooling for just $27 a month, and you'll just stay on top of it. before you have a disaster, before you're caught without AC with triple digits.
It's great because they'll call and say, hey, it's time for your checkup. We'll send someone out there. Are you available tomorrow? And that way you know that your system is working well. Reach out to our friends at Koala Cooling. They are qualified.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Raising a family requires lots, and I mean lots, of energy. Quaker's protein products help you to keep things running smoothly. It's the protein you want when wrestling your toddler into their pajamas. There you go, buddy. To coach your 6th graders soccer team. And to carry all the groceries in one trip. Whether you want instant oatmeal, bars, or granola, Quaker has something for everyone in the family. Try Quaker protein products today. Quaker, bring out the good.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Fall into savings at Maxwell Ford. Hit the trails in a rugged Ford Bronco or cruise Austin in a new Bronco Sport. Lease a new Ford Bronco for just $447 a month with zero down, or a Ford Bronco Sport for just $347 a month with zero down. Maxwell Ford, home of transparent pricing and no dealer add-ons. Visit us on South I-35 or maxwellford.com. Bronco MSRP $47,307. Bronco Sport MSRP $32,990. First payment to assignment 36 months, 10,500 miles yearly. See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/25.
Don't you agree that it's a wonderful thing to save a dog's life? I certainly do, and I invite you to go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a $15 a month donation right now. Do it now, and Thomas J. Henry will generously match all charitable donations made this month online at puppyfoodbank.org. It's your chance to help save thousands of pets in our community, so please give a little to help save little guys like you. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org right now, and they'll send you a very nice gift.
Only one app puts the live radio dial in your pocket
And lets you save your favorite stations, playlists, and podcasts as presets.
iHeartRadio is your all-access pass to the audio that moves you.
Get what millions already have. The free iHeartRadio app.
The #1 app for radio.
From the Audio Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Kickoff. Good morning, Kickoff.
It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Mike Hardball Hardge, world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer D. Mark Henry, and our guy Marcus behind the boards. Also, in hour number 1, we talked about Mike Gundy being out and what's next for Oklahoma State. They're out there. They got Doug Meacham as the interim head coach. Somebody sent me something that said Jimbo Fisher would be perfect for that job, but I think Jimbo's enjoying life being free without having to do anything and not have to deal with parents, NIL, anything like that. But there are some names that are coaching elsewhere that might take a look at what Oklahoma State could do. We also got a chance to hear from Sark as he was talking about the recruiting plan for this week, because the bye week gives a chance for these coaches to go out and see some of their commitments play. There's a big game this weekend, this Friday night at the field in Pflugerville, where there's some top-notch players for both schools. Hendrickson and Weiss will be taking on each other. We also got a chance to listen to Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman and his thoughts, and just talk about the MLB home stretch that is happening. Before we get into the Texas football schedule that was released yesterday for the next 4 years, which is interesting because we had just talked about the permanent opponents where you will have 3 permanent opponents for the next 4 years before they go back and regroup. I also wanted to point this out. This month has been Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And I know that I haven't really gone into this conversation and everything that's gone with it. But for those that have been following me throughout my time here on the radio, most of you know that I went through prostate cancer and ended up having a surgery. And it was 2018. I was diagnosed in 2017. I ended up having the surgery in 2018. I'm fine. I continue to be cancer-free, but this is the time where men need to go get checked. This is the month, Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, Men's Health Month, all those things that go with it. But the one thing that we always try to tell each other is go get checked. As African-American men, we hate going to the doctor. We hate going to be seen and telling us that we got all these things that is wrong with us because for the most part, we know that we got things wrong.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Exactly. It's just my sugar. It's just my sugar. My sugar bad. But this is the time for you to go and be checked and be aware of the things that are going on with your body. As you get older, we're more prone to different things. So please, 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 as I've always said, go get checked, go get checked, go get checked. And you don't have to wait for September to go get checked just because it's awareness month.
Right.
Be aware every month. Be aware every day. But we caught mine early. It seems to be something that if you catch it early, you can get it cured and you don't have to go through some of the things that might possibly happen during that time. So I'm glad that I got it taken care of. I'm thankful for my physicians and them being able to test me in a way that not the old school way. You can do it by blood test, folks. You ain't got to go the old school way. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, not you
just try to find out if you gonna play football.
Sir.
You go just do the cough so you can play football.
Yeah, that's the physical for football. Now, what he's talking about is the old school way.
Yeah, where you can lose a ring. But it was okay. It was okay. But right now, I want to get into this conversation.
Glad we can make light of this situation. It's very serious.
Because I'm good, and I know that a lot of my friends have been able to go get checked themselves and have detected it and got it early too. So make sure you go get checked. I do want to get into this conversation about this Texas football team and the upcoming schedule. You know, people like to look at the schedule not only for the wins, but for the opportunity to make a trip in a place that you haven't gone before. Like a lot of folks are jumping on a plane to head to the Swamp. First time they've been to Gainesville to go and play in the Swamp. Everybody's looking forward to going to Georgia for the first time.
You know there's other places in America to go other than Gainesville.
There is, but not for your football team. That's what it's about. So when you get a chance to travel to go see your football team, you make those plans. So next season, obviously we talked about it. Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma are the 3 opponents that we will always have on for the next 4 years. Those are ones that are in there. But you will play Florida. You will also play Ole Miss. You will play Mississippi State. You will play at LSU.
Oh, man. Is it a night game?
Well, let's hold up. We get till 26. We got to wait till 26. I do not want to be at LSU at a night game. I want to be there for the day game because them people get rowdy. You know that. You know that that's what it's all about. So we'll see about that. I might have to go stay with my mama during that time. We play at Missouri and you play at Tennessee. All of that is in, and you play at Texas A&M, by the way, in 2026. In 2027, you play at Arkansas. You play home against Texas A&M, and of course, Oklahoma is in Dallas. But you have Auburn at home. You have Georgia at home, and you have Kentucky at home. But you go to Alabama, you go to South Carolina, and you got to go back to Vanderbilt. In 2028, home against Arkansas, at Texas A&M, Oklahoma. You got LSU again at home. You got Missouri at home. You got Tennessee at home, but you're back at the Swamp. You go to Oxford, Mississippi, and then you go to Stark Vegas at Mississippi State. So you go to Mississippi twice in 2028. In 2029, Alabama's here, South Carolina's here, Vanderbilt's here, but you're at Auburn, you're at Georgia, and then you're at Kentucky in 2029.
You do realize that the kids that'll be playing in 29 are in middle school.
Yeah, the kids that are in 27 and 28 are juniors right now. So
that's so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Already know the schedule.
Yeah, but that's a good thing because the SEC, when they went to that 9-game schedule for SEC opponents, that's why you could go ahead and get your schedule set up. And the one thing that I noticed too for next year, I mentioned all those games that are on there, but again, Texas will have the opportunity to play Texas State next year at home, Ohio State at home, and UTSA at home. So those are going to be that's going to be a great schedule for Texas next year, where you get a chance to play all those teams at home.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, from watching, if Kenny is still there, and I don't know, he might be the top candidate to get the job up in Oklahoma State.
Yep.
If he's still there, he's not an easy win. He's a really good coach, man.
He's definitely a good coach. Texas don't beat Texas State. Do you know that? Do you know
the ramifications?
Do you remember the question that you asked earlier?
Yes. Yeah. Like what team is? I didn't say that Texas is gonna lose.
No, I know.
I just said that he's no pushover.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that, but no.
No. Sorry.
No. Speed is deadly. Speed is deadly. So, but yes, you start looking at all of these and you start making your plans. As I said, folks have already got their tickets, and as soon as that schedule came out last year, they looked at where Texas was going to be, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to the Swamp. Got to make that trip down there, because a lot of people don't get a chance to go to those types of places because you hadn't had an opportunity to.
We should have Titus O'Neil come on the show for the Legends of the Locker Room that week, because he's a Florida alum, and
set it up because it's next Thursday.
Yeah, he's been Mr. 2 Bits.
Yep.
So let's reach out.
Yep. So we will look forward to those games as they come, but you start to look around the SEC and you look at all those games, and we talked about those for sure opponents for you. There's a lot of those teams that you look at and you're like, man, this is going to be difficult for you to go out there and play these teams every single week, because of the fact that the Southeastern Conference is such a tough conference. And you look at all of the teams that have that opportunity. You look at what Texas A&M's schedule is going to be. You look at what Alabama's schedule is going to be. Texas A&M, they will have – here, let me pull this up real quick. Something wrong with my computer. Texas A&M will have a busy conference as well, because their schedule is not going to be easy either. So you start looking around at these teams and the energy that will be in the ballparks, you will be kind of nervous about it, because those stadiums are going to be rocking when you sit back and you think about
no easy schedule for any of these teams.
Exactly. And no matter if you're home, away, if you're playing at a neutral site, just like Texas will be playing at a neutral site against Texas A&M, Oklahoma, it's going to be tough the entire time. So the environment is going to make itself, and it's new fan bases. It's new fan bases. If you look at what Texas A&M is next year, they'll have Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, at Alabama, at South Carolina, and at Oklahoma. 2027, they got Ole Miss, Georgia. This will be the first time that they play Georgia, will be 2027, since they have been in the SEC. Since they have been in the SEC, 2027 will be the first time that they have played the Georgia Bulldogs.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. So But it's a big move, so we'll see what ends up happening. But coming up next, we're going to talk about the SEC schedule this weekend and all the big games that are happening, because this is a great weekend if you want to be a couch potato, because you don't have to worry about a Texas game. You can just enjoy.
Just watch whatever you want.
Exactly. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
iHeartRadio brings you Global Citizen Festival 2025 from New York City at Central Park's Great Lawn. Live performances from Shakira, Cardi B, Tyla, Ira Starr, Mariah the Scientist, Camilo, and many more. All hosted by Hugh Jackman. Join the movement changing the world at globalcitizenfestival.com. Hear the entire festival live all day this Saturday on the free iHeart app's Global Citizen Radio and on Hit Nation at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
A crash on Mopac southbound at Palmer Lane, moved out of the main lanes and over to the right shoulder, and plan for some major backups caused by a closure from an overturned 18-wheeler accident on I-35 northbound at River Ridge Parkway. Your backup has now reached Highway 123. Try taking Loop 110 or Post Road as good alternates. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by ParkWiz.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
Football is back, and so is your shot at big wins with DraftKings Pick 6, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Your game day instincts can have you scoring real money fast. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 players or more stats, breakout rookies or elite quarterbacks. The better your calls, the bigger your payout. And here's the kickoff bonus. New DraftKings customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry. This season, play your player instincts. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use the code SPOTLIGHT. That's code SPOTLIGHT for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts and bigger wins. Only at DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
iHeart presents Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour. Taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th.
Straight out of Compton, it's a crazy brother named Ice Cube.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
You know what your customers are doing right this second? The exact same thing you are, listening to me. Which, let's be honest, is kind of flattering. But my point is, ads on iHeartRadio actually get heard. In the car, at the gym, on the couch, while people are walking their dogs. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. That's right, you're a good boy. So why not make the next ad about you? This September, new advertisers get a special deal. So call now, 844-844-iHeart, or visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers, it's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. That covers up to $3 million for the most comprehensive plan. So if your money is stolen due to identity theft, they've got your back. If you have personal expenses while resolving identity theft, like paying for travel or extra childcare, LifeLock has your back. Need coverage for lost wages because work had taken a backseat throughout all of this? You guessed it, LifeLock still has your back. Plus, there's coverage if you need to pay fees for lawyers and experts to resolve your case. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and your finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 40% off your first year. Use the promo code Patrick. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com, promo code Patrick to save 40%. Terms apply.
Need cash for a home project, big life event, or to pay off high-interest debt? Tap into your home's equity with a home equity loan from Austin Telco Federal Credit Union. Use it for home improvements, debt consolidation, a wedding, tuition, or a vacation with flexible terms up to 30 years. Fixed rates, no closing cost under $250,000, and no repayment penalties. This is money that works for you. Apply online today at atfcu.org. Austin Telco Federal Credit Union, helping you do more with your home. ATFCU is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 422857. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey there, local business owner. Ready to make some more money? Whether you own an auto shop or a dinner spot, Valpak Direct Marketing can help you do just that. All bells and whistles are included, so you advertise when and where it counts to reach new customers that spend more. Measurable results, proven reach, zero guesswork. That's Valpak. Visit valpak.com/advertise to see if you qualify for a free mailing. That's VALPAK.com/advertise. Let's grow.
Texas football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We've got big time matchups that are happening this weekend through the top 25 and also just in SEC play. So we want to get into some of this conversation because there's a lot of games that have a lot of interest for a bunch of folks. And peaking those that we will be talking about a little bit later when it comes to what is the best play for the weekend, entertainment purposes only. Starting at 11 o'clock in the SEC, you have number 22 ranked Notre Dame going to take on Arkansas at home. Arkansas, another team that may be on the verge of making a coaching change at some point. They're sitting at 2-2. One of the names that may be making the change is Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino is a former head coach, might be a guy that Oklahoma State looks at as well. But if they were to make a move and get rid of their head coach at Arkansas, would Bobby Petrino be the one that steps in and gets the interim call? That is a big-time conversation. At 11:45 on the SEC Network, you have Utah State going into Nashville to take on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, the number 18 ranked team in the country. Diego Pavia continues to put up big numbers and continues to show that he is a 27-year-old quarterback playing against some youngsters. But he's out there.
Why do you keep on punching him, man?
Pavia, man, I like him.
Leave him alone.
I think he's a gutsy guy, and he continues to play hard every single time.
He's one of those guys, Hardge, that they say that the metrics say he won't be a good NFL quarterback. So now with the way that the system works, and you can make $1 million or $2 million playing quarterback in college, like he may look at it like, this is my pro football.
Yeah. Well, he's doing a good job because he's not going to class. What he's doing, basket weaving, because he's already graduated probably twice.
Hand washing.
Yeah, or ballroom dancing. So, I mean, he's in Nashville.
That's an interesting sport right there.
I mean, that's what they do.
No contact either?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, there's definitely contact. They're a 21.5-point favor over Utah State. At 2:30 on ABC, number 4 LSU will be taking on number 13 Ole Miss. Both teams are undefeated. LSU is 4-0 and 1-0 in SEC play. Ole Miss is 4-0 and 2-0 in SEC play. This game is a 1.5-point favorite for Ole Miss. They got to figure out what they're going to do at quarterback. Grant Nussmeier is the quarterback for LSU. And Brian Kelly, is he going to yell at somebody for the way that they run the football?
So we make our picks tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to save it. That's a game that I really want to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Then you look at what happens at 2:30 on ESPN. You have Auburn, who is 3-1 with the loss last week against Texas A&M, one of the hottest teams in the country that a lot of folks are excited about. They're number 9. They are a 6.5-point favorite at Kyle Field. Big time matchup between these two teams, excuse me. Then at 3:15 on the SEC Network. So we have 3 games following each other that are pretty high-level football, as number 15 Tennessee will be going to Starkville to take on 4-0 Mississippi State. This is where we start to understand what type of team Mississippi State is. Going up against Tennessee with their quarterback Aguilar, who's been hot as fish grease. He's got 12 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions this year. This is a big-time matchup for Mississippi State, so we will see how they fare.
Get your snacks ready.
And it continues.
This one then where you don't leave the house.
It's at 6:30, another one. 6:30, number 17 Alabama. We know the scrutiny that they're under. They go to Georgia to take on 3-0 Georgia Bulldogs at 6:30 on ABC. That ticket, take a guess what that ticket is.
I would say $200.
Marcus?
$350.
$425.
Price is Right rule. I win.
Lowest ticket. That's the lowest available ticket.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big time, man. This is what it's all about.
That's like the Texas Georgia game last year here.
This is what that is all about.
$600. It's crazy.
Yep. Then the final of the nightcap, you get a chance to watch Kentucky versus South Carolina. Both teams are kind of reeling, especially South Carolina. South Carolina needs this win badly. They are 2-2 and 0-2 in SEC play. So we'll watch what that has to do. In the Big 12, there's some big matchups as well. Number 24, TCU will be this is a Friday night game, will be taking on Arizona State. They will be going out to Arizona. Also Friday night, University of Houston, 3-0, traveling to go see Malik Murphy and Oregon State, who is 0-4, by the way. So that's not big. BYU will be headed to Colorado on Saturday. BYU, the number 25 ranked team. Colorado get the win last week, but this is going to be the biggest challenge for them, and Deion needs to settle in on the quarterback.
You know what? I don't think that he's ready to do that yet.
It seems like
every game he's played at least 2 quarterbacks. The first and second game, he played 3 quarterbacks.
Exactly. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Another game that's kind of piqued my interest now is Baylor sitting at 2-2 versus Oklahoma State with the new coach, new situation. Baylor needs this game, and if they go in there and they can't win this game, do we start looking at Dave Aranda a little bit differently as well?
He should win this game with them being in disarray right now and in flux with the coach's situation. He don't win this game, I don't think we'll have to say anything.
Exactly.
I think their front office is going to be like, hey, man, what are you doing?
That game is at 2:30 on ESPN2. The nightcap, ESPN, Arizona, 3-0. Will play their first Big 12 game of the season against number 14 ranked Iowa State. They are 4-0 and 1-0 in the Big 12. And ACC. Now this is going to be a fun weekend because Florida State is the talk of the town, right? They have been doing everything. Now they're going on the road on Friday night to take on Virginia at Charlottesville. Virginia's sitting at 3-1 and 1-0 in ACC play. I know the hype has been around Florida State, rightfully so, but can they finish the deal and start ACC play on a Friday night and get it done in Charlottesville?
I think they can. I mean, they're the genuine article. They run the ball well. They play defense, which is a great start. And they don't turn the ball over.
Right.
So, those 3 things, I mean, if they get a few special teams plays, offense, punting-wise and kicking, then they perfect.
And the Big Ten action, too. Like, think about this Big Ten action. On Saturday morning, 11 a.m., that is 9 a.m. on the West Coast for USC. USC travels to Illinois. Illinois got beat down by Indiana the other night. USC 4-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten. They are ranked number 21. They will take on 23 ranked Illinois at 11 a.m. kickoff. A game that a lot of folks hadn't really been talking about but need to. Ohio State, the number 1 team in the land, versus Washington State. This is a big matchup. I mean, Washington, not Washington State, excuse me. Washington, 3-0. 3-0 into the season. Just been real quiet out there. Nobody's talking about it. So we'll see what happens there. UCLA with a new coach versus Northwestern. Nobody's going to be watching that. The 6:30 game, prime time. You got to have these TVs. Prime time, 6:30, Oregon. Number 6 ranked team versus Penn State, the number 3 ranked team.
Ooh.
Under the lights at University Park, Beaver Stadium.
Am I wrong for saying I just have zero faith in Franklin?
That's what everybody's talking about. We're gonna see it. The only person who got faith in him is LeVar Arrington, because LeVar will fight you
because
over
he
that.
went to school there.
Yeah.
He's a homer.
Yeah, him and Brady got into a nice little heated discussion this morning. But I want you to hear from Coach Sark, because I just went through all these beautiful games. And Coach Sark was asked about how are you going to spend your off weekend watching these games?
This weekend, I'll probably watch College Game Day. You know, I'm an early riser, so I'll probably watch that. I think that's fun. That's great for college football. I don't even know where it is this week. I'm sure it's somewhere great. And then I don't know the time slots of the games yet, but I'll know, like, hey, I'm going to watch Alabama, Georgia. It's going to be a great game. You know, I want to see that game. I think it's this week. I don't know. I haven't seen all that. I think Ohio State, I think Oregon's at Penn State. I think that's obviously a great game for college football. You know, I'll probably watch Mississippi State, Tennessee. I think that's this weekend, knowing Mississippi State's down the road. I think Florida has a bye, so it's not like I can watch them. So you just start watching the games. I think LSU is at Ole Miss this week, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that's next week. I don't know, but there's just great games. And I have colleagues in the profession that I know I'm going to want to watch, and because they're friends of mine that I want to watch those guys play. But other times it's just great games that are being played. And honestly, I'll probably watch it until the wee hours of the night. I'll be honest with you. I watched the end of the USC Michigan State game last weekend. Some of you probably didn't. I don't know, but I did. You know, that's what I do. It's what I get to do what I love. I love what I do. I'm a fan of our sport first. And so I'll watch as many as I can. You know, I struggle with the 4-box. I'll be honest with everybody. I struggle with that. I got my ADD kicks in. I'm all over the place. I kind of need to put one channel on, and then I'm the classic guy that I hit previous channel. I go back and forth. And if you're in the room with me, I'd probably piss you off because I'm jumping around from game to game. It's just, sometimes I have my iPad, that TV, and maybe a TV outside with things going on. But the 4-box thing jams me up. I struggle with that one.
Hey, Coach, first off, that's what I do is my gimmick. And I need you to, you know, send me a letter to get approval for that. But he sounds like, I'm a busy guy, but I'm just going to wing it like everybody else.
Yeah. Well, the thing that got me going was he's like, I'm not a 4-box guy. My ADD kicks in.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
My family tells me all the time, turn off the 4-box. Let's just watch one
game. Can we watch one game?
I'm like, no, because I'm paying attention to all of them.
Hey,
I need y'all
previous channel. That's my number one.
Coming up next, we're going to hear from the world's strongest man as he gives you his world's strongest take right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
A crash on Mopac southbound at Palmer Lane moved out of the main lanes and over to the right shoulder, and plan for some major backups caused by a closure from an overturned 18-wheeler accident on I-35 northbound at River Ridge Parkway. Your backup has now reached Highway 123. Try taking Loop 110 or Post Road as good alternates. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by ParkWiz.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
Mark, somebody just drove off in my truck.
Or maybe you just can't tell which one's yours again.
Man, everybody's truck in Texas looks the same.
That's because you still got that basic license plate. No flavor, no style, no Hardge.
So what? I need a plate that says sexy hardball.
Please don't. The streets ain't ready for that, man. But yeah, you need myplace.com.
They got custom colors, design, and you could put almost anything on it.
Exactly. Mine says world's strongest driver. Nobody's touching that.
Boom. And I'll get the Zone MVP. Speaking of it, you use the promo code DAZONE and you'll save big time.
So quit losing your truck, quit being basic, and get a license plate that's actually you.
That's myplates.com, where your ride finally gets some personality.
Man, just don't get that sexy hardball plate you said you were going to get.
No promises, bro. Just make sure that you get over to myplates.com. That's myplates.com. Use the promo code DAZONE, and this is your opportunity to be different.
From the creator of Bone Valley comes a gripping new true crime podcast, Graves County. In the small town of Mayfield, Kentucky, the beloved fire chief's daughter is dead, and everyone has a theory. But when a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter starts digging, the entire town goes dark.
So it sounds like a lot of people have come forward saying, I know who did this, but no one has said who did it.
What is everyone so afraid of? Open the iHeartRadio app, search Graves County, and listen now.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Raising a family requires lots, and I mean lots, of energy. Quaker's protein products help you to keep things running smoothly. It's the protein you want when wrestling your toddler into their pajamas. There you go, buddy. To coach your sixth graders' soccer team. And to carry all the groceries in one trip. Whether you want instant oatmeal, bars, or granola, Quaker has something for everyone in the family. Try Quaker protein products today. Quaker, bring out the good.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Introducing the IHOP Value Menu, where all your breakfast faves are just $6 each every day. Where else can you get a big, filling, sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your happy place with the $6 IHOP Value Menu. Available every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Cloudy skies for your Wednesday with scattered thunderstorms. Some may contain strong gusty winds, a high of 88. Partly cloudy tonight, a low near 70. Sunny on Thursday, a high near 90.
This report is sponsored by ParkWiz.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
Hey everybody, Daniel Jeremiah here.
And I'm Bucky Brooks.
On Move the Sticks, we take you inside the game, from breaking down college prospects and NFL rookies
to evaluating team building philosophies, coaching trends, and how front offices construct winning rosters.
We study the tape, talk to decision makers, and give you a perspective you won't find anywhere else. Listen to the Move the Sticks podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow the Move the Sticks podcast and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
Join the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, each day from 2 to 5 p.m. for the Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
That's what he do. He did it all the time at 8:30, right here on the morning kickoff. He's recognized as the world's strongest man, but he's here to bring you his world's strongest take. And he is Mark. Here, take it away.
Mark?
What's up, man?
You know what time it is? It's time for the world's strongest take by the world's strongest man. Marcus. Back then, they didn't know me. But now I'm hot. Y'all on. Yes. My take today, it revolves around sports, but it's not dealing with the actual athletes. It's dealing with the general manager position.
Oh, Lord.
See, Hardge said, "Oh Lord," because he's a Cowboy fan.
That's exactly.
And it's not even about that. I'm going away from it. I'm going away from it.
Appreciate you.
I'm just saying, right now, the best general manager in baseball, they say, is Alex Anthopoulos at the Braves, Andrew Friedman at the Dodgers, and Mike Elias at the Orioles. And then you get to basketball. They say Sam Presti and Andy Isberg and Brad Stevens are like the cream of the crop guys. And you get to the NFL, and of course, Howie Roseman, Les Snead at the Rams, and they say Eric DaCosta at the Rams. But there's a new guy in town. And the new guy is the general manager of the New Orleans Pelicans, Joe Dumars. And I had the pleasure of befriending Joe Dumars and doing a couple of events with Joe Dumars when he was with the Pistons, as well as right here in Austin at the University of Texas. Joe's an unbelievable guy, one of the best businessmen in sports. He's held every job from player to management to general manager now. He's moved right on up. Well, he took over the New Orleans Pelicans as the GM. And let's just say that he went into that situation and said, there's a new sheriff in town. A lot like Aaron Glenn did as a new head coach at the Jets. He was taking no prisoners. The first guy that he called in his office was one Zion Williamson. He had a scale in the office. I'm sorry. He made him weigh. Zion Williamson weighed 294 pounds. 6'6" guard forward. You can't call him a power forward or a center. He's just a dynamic player. He said, you have to get your weight down. He didn't ask. He said, you have to. That is one of the things that you do. You start at the head of the snake as a general manager. Zion Williamson, guys, is down 35 pounds. He looks amazing. And I think that he'll have less injury. I pray he will. The value of a general manager and reconstructing, they brought in guys that play roles. And the guys that he brought in have won championships. He wanted championship role players, not just we're going to get the best forward or the best guard we can get. No, do you know your role? That's what a good general manager do. He manages the way that he wants the team to look in his image. And I think that's a great thing. Now, I lied. I said I was going to stay off the Cowboys. The Cowboys they don't have that. They don't have a general manager that's going in and fixing the problems. That's why the problems are going to continue. With what just happened with Dumars going to the Pelicans, Hardge, do you think that's what they needed to change? My thoughts, I think that the Pelicans are going to be a more dangerous team because they have two stars, and now they brought in role players, and the coach is holding the stars accountable. And what say you?
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of a mindset for him. The talent is there. That's the thing about Zion Williamson. He's been talked about since he was a kid in North Carolina or South Carolina. Yeah. He's been one hell of a player. The one thing that has been his problem has been everything away from the ball, from the game. It's been the nightlife. It's been the eating. It's been not taking care of himself. It's been health issues. And the reason why those health issues happened was because of the fact that he wasn't taking care of himself. For him to be able, because he's still young, for him to continue to be a guy that is not going to be a journeyman in this business, is he had to make a change. And Joe Dumars, as you said, who's held every level that you can possibly have as in the basketball, he has shown to him and talked to him and mentored him to the point of, hey, man, you need to make a change if you want to be where you thought you were going to be when you came in this league. So there are some coaches and some GMs and some people that will step in, but you got to have the buy-in from the player too.
Do you think it's going to be a success? Is my question.
No,
I do.
Because the Pelicans
That's
are
my
terrible.
take.
The Pelicans are terrible.
Well, they can only move up, is what you're saying.
Exactly. So, fly Pelicans, fly. We'll see what ends up happening. But I do for the betterment of Zion Williamson.
Okay.
I do think it's going to be a success for the betterment of him as
Of
an
the man.
individual. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Awesome.
We're going to close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick. The Giants finally make a move, but they were not alone when they decided to make one, as the Texans did too. Gotta go. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Fall in Texas means one thing: Texas Longhorns football. And you won't miss a snap all season long right here on 1300 The Zone. Touchdown, Texas! Your home for the Horns. Hook 'em.
Major delays in San Marcos. An overturned 18-wheeler accident has all lanes closed down on I-35 northbound at River Ridge Parkway. Delays are starting from Highway 123, and all traffic is forced off the highway at exit 208. Try taking Loop 110 or Post Road as good alternates. There's also a crash on Breaker Lane at the service road of I-35. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bet Online.
Football season is in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the action than Bet Online, your number one source for all things football. Bet Online has all the latest odds, breaking news, live scores, and even in-game betting, so you'll never miss a moment. Head to Bet Online today, because at Bet Online, the game starts here.
Keeping score of your finances but missed the Bitcoin wagon? There's a second chance called Texitcoin. Score big at Texitcoin.org. The Texas Longhorns offense woke up against an overmatched and overwhelmed Sam Houston football team, winning 55-0 on Saturday behind stellar play from Arch Manning, who threw for over 300 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 2 more on the ground. Arch showed a lot of emotion in the victory, and head coach Steve Sarkisian is okay with that and wants to see his quarterback play a little bit more free.
I always feel like he's a little bit at his best when that emotion kind of comes out some. I think there was a lot built up in there, obviously from last week that he needed to get out, but inevitably, I think the guys feed off of that from him. I always remind him, sometimes I think he's got a little more of his grandpa in him than maybe his uncles at times, because that style of play for him is his style.
Get in early on the next big coin and extend your lead at Texitcoin.com. This is an investment that carries risk. Texitcoin.org.
iHeart presents the police coming straight from the underground. Ice Cube bringing truth to power.
You know how we do.
Featuring 4 decades of attitude, a musical production like he's never done before. Taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th. Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour. 4 decades of attitude.
Before hip-hop, homies got shot.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
We're live at Specs, where elite snack strategies are unfolding. This shopper just dove headfirst into the cheese section, barreling through the brie like he's got something to prove. Now he's eyeing that top shelf tequila. Does he have it? He does! Unbelievable! Specs selection, flawless. Specs savings, unstoppable. He's loading the cart like a man possessed. And it all started at Specs. Cheers to savings.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $1,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive. And Doug.
Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
Texas weather can be wild. Protect your home with residential metal roofing from Mueller Inc. Strong, stylish, and designed to last, our metal roofs handle wind, hail, and heat with minimal maintenance. With a range of colors and styles, you'll get lasting beauty and proven durability, all backed by paint warranties up to 45 years. Visit with one of our sales representatives today at any of our locations across Texas, including Marble Falls and Spicewood.
Hey there, local business owner. Ready to make some more money? Whether you own an auto shop or a dinner spot, Valpak Direct Marketing can help you do just that. All bells and whistles are included, so you advertise when and where it counts to reach new customers that spend more. Measurable results, proven reach, zero guesswork. That's Valpak. Visit valpak.com/advertise to see if you qualify for a free mailing. That's VALPAK.com/advertise. Let's grow.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Longhorns baseball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Missed any part of the show, all you got to do is get over to our podcast page. Marcus will have that up immediately. So, Danny Davis, you can hear our conversation about what happened with Mike Gundy for those that are just tuning in where you've been. But Mike Gundy was let go in Oklahoma for Oklahoma State. They are making a move to move on from him. They said it was not an easy decision, but they are 1-11 in their last 12 games, so they felt like it was time to make a move. Also, we had a conversation about the pennant and who's going to win. You'll hear from Texas baseball players tomorrow as I got a chance to go to Media Day. You'll hear from Texas basketball players, a chance to talk to them as well. And today, Vic Schaefer is having his meetings as well. Basketball starts practice tomorrow. They get a chance to start practicing tomorrow. So there's a lot going on with this Texas basketball team on the 40 acres and the energy around all the sports and the possibilities of what could happen. We also touched on it a little bit, but quarterback for Oklahoma, John Mateer, is going to be out for an unspecified amount of time. And they believe that it's at least going to be 4 to 5 weeks, but not sure on that. Don't quote me, but he is undergoing hand surgery for a broken bone in his throwing hand. So if it was on his offhand, it'd be a different conversation.
Right.
But since it's on his throwing hand, it is a little too early to speculate when he will be back. I do want to touch on this though, Mark. They finally decided to make the decision, and Jackson Dart is now the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. Now, you can't put a lot of the blame on Russell Wilson. They should have beat the Dallas Cowboys. He threw for 450 yards against the Dallas Cowboys. The first game, they could have won that one as well. So for Russ to be blamed for this, okay. But let me just tell you this. This next part of the schedule for them is not easy when it comes to who they're going to be facing for the New York Giants. The New York Giants now will take on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yikes.
The New Orleans Saints, might be a little break right there. Then they play the Eagles, the Broncos, and the Eagles, then 49ers.
Yeah, that's not a good road to hoe right there.
Yeah, that's a tough decision to make for this young man, but it is what it is. This is what you signed up for.
Throw him in the fire.
You got to go to work. And so now Russell Wilson is at a crossroads in his career. Is this a moment that Russ is sitting there, because I know he's sitting there saying, I still got it. I am the guy. But is this a moment of where the crossroads are for him and his career?
I think so. And I think this is also that moment where, I heard the conversation. Is his inaptitude to playing going to hurt him being in the Hall of Fame? I think that his percentages are getting worse, and it's going to look less appetizing to the committee that decides. The more he plays, the worse he's getting. Like, look at the last 3 coaches of like, look, man, I can't win with this guy. He sucks.
Well, I think too, personnel wise, like the situation with the guy I don't like, Sean Payton, was a little bit different. Well, Daniel Hackett's situation was awful. That was a bad situation.
Sean Payton is wearing his welcome out with the quarterback that he has right now.
Yeah, they're arguing all the time.
Like, I mean, he's not Russell Wilson. Russell would be just stand there and take it. This young man is like, hey, man, don't talk to me crazy.
Yeah.
And he's giving it back to him. So I don't see him being around much longer.
Sean not going nowhere. But I do look at this. I do look at
Marcus,
this and
get
say,
that when I'm right, I'm right.
Oh, Lord. Here
Ready.
we go. Sean Payton is not the one that's right on right. But you start to look at all of these guys, and you realize that as a young quarterback coming into this league, you're going to sink or swim. You going up against this type of team, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles all of this, because it's going to be tough.
Well, you know what helps is the fact that he is Josh Allen light. He can step up and run away from pressure. And, that was one of the things during the draft that everybody kept saying, man, the dude he's not reached his full potential yet. A lot of quarterbacks, they are who they are.
Right.
They're going to be that. This guy can improve. And I think that that's what we're going to see. I think that he'll, in the NFL, he'll get a lot of blanket coverages. They're going to throw everything at him blitz-wise. They're going to show him looks. They're going to run a lot of shell defense.
Yep.
And just try to confuse him. But he can always just put it down and run. And that's the difference between him and everybody else.
Well, you talk about put it down and run, but this better be put it down and get down. Because in the NFL, I don't care how big
what
you
the NFL stand for?
Not for long if you don't want to run around and get crazy. So it's an important part when you start to understand.
See what happened to Lamar Jackson.
Exactly. You mean Samuel L.?
Samuel Jr.?
Yeah.
They figured him out.
You got to make sure that you find a way to get down. So it's going to be a tough look for them, but they finally decided to hand the keys to the city to that young man. So we'll see what ends up happening. In H-Town, they decided enough was enough. CJ Gardner-Johnson has been given his walking papers.
You are all expurgated. You are dismissed. You are out of here forever. I wish you well.
I wish you well. And CJ Gardner-Johnson is somebody that runs his mouth a little bit too much. The people in that locker room, and it takes a lot for D'Amico to give up on you. And for the communications lack thereof, and then always trying to tell people, well, we did this in Philly. Well, you're not in Philly because they got rid of you too. So don't forget about that. And now you are going to be looking for a home. And I'm sure you probably won't have to leave the state because the Cowboys defense stinks so bad, they might as well give you a tryout too.
Yeah, he got some horrible history. I mean, like everywhere he goes, we can't wait to get rid of him.
Yeah.
He just got here. He just got to Houston.
As they say at the end of the night,
it's closed.
You ain't got to go home, but you do got to get the hell up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Go find something good for you to do. I want to thank Danny Davis for jumping on with us as always. Make sure you tune in tomorrow as we'll have Eric Henry of Horns 247. We'll have our Legends of the Locker Room segment and so much more. For Mark Henry, for Marcus, I'm Hardball Hardge. Just remember this, don't believe everything you see because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.